Jimmy Butler is back, and he already looks like he's in postseason form, and we're not even to the month of December yet. I'm here to break down his recent performances and how they're resulting in Miami Heat wins, as well as what to expect tonight in a massive in-conference game against the Milwaukee Bucks, not only from Jimmy Butler, but from this Miami Heat team. We'll break down all of that on this episode of Heat Digest, but first remember, if you're a part of the 82% currently watching this video, not currently subscribed, please scroll down, click the subscribe button. It only takes a few seconds. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers, so stay up to date with all things Heat on Heat Digest. But now let's get to it and break down how in Jimmy we trust. Now, obviously, up to this point in the season, we had moments where we went back and forth on Jimmy Butler. Not on the idea of trading Butler, but the idea of, hey, this play has to pick up because it clearly looks like we are in the regular season, like what we normally get from Jimmy Butler, but just a little bit less, in the sense that obviously during the regular season we are known to get a Jimmy Butler who just coast through the regular season. Yeah, 15 to 18 a game, 5 to 6 rebounds, 6 to 8 assists a game. It is what it is. He gets to the free throw line 8 to 10 times a game. He makes all but one of his free throws, a steal, a block, shooting about 45 to 55% a game. It's great. Yeah, the stats look good. It's resulting in wins every other game. It is what it is. But then when you're missing large amounts of time, things become an issue, and it's just a domino effect of not winning enough games, then becoming a bubble team, having to work harder to get through the playoffs, bad matchups, harder matchups. Life is just a little bit more difficult. Well, up to this point in the season, it's been different. It's been different. It's been difficult. It's just been overall very weird. But the last two games for this Miami Heat team, I think things are drastically starting to turn around. Now, we discussed it in the last video how we had that start of the season where things were up and down. And then we had to go on that 6-game road stand against teams that were obviously competitors. We had to play Minnesota. We had to play Indiana twice. Detroit, who's been a lot better than really anticipated this season, being led by Cade Cunningham and the rest of the young guys over in Detroit, as well as a bunch of other teams out west, including Sacramento. Who else did we play? We played Denver. It was a very, very daunting stretch of 6 games. And again, all coming on the road before coming back home for our first game, again, at home in a while, against the Philadelphia 76ers. We handled business in that game. But then we had that 6-day layoff, which resulted in a game 2 nights ago, not last night, and resulted in a win against the Dallas Mavericks. And again, that was a very, very competitive game. We ended up winning 123 to 118 over Dallas. This game did go to overtime, and it was a great game from start to finish. I think it really showed a lot about this Miami Heat team as well as that Dallas Mavericks team. Obviously, we discussed it leading into this game in the video on Heat Digest, posted just before, a few hours before tip-off, before this game, discussing how Luka was not going to be present. Butler should be present. Rozier was not going to be there for the Miami Heat. And because of that, we needed to see the defense show up and really take account into this game. Obviously, we still gave up 118 points. If we're giving up more than 110 in any game, it's going to be a dogfight and really a difficult time for this Miami Heat team due to obviously having the offensive abilities is one thing, but then having the capabilities is one thing, but then actually watching the game play out, not sure if we want to rely on this Miami Heat team to score 120 plus points per game every single time. I think we rely on that defense, and it will result in a lot more wins compared to relying on that offense. But again, if Jimmy Butler is having performances like these, I think we can rely a little bit more on the offense. Now, obviously, that game against Philly, the first one at home after that 6-game road stand, was Jimmy Butler's first game back after dealing with a right ankle sprain for 3 games. Now, he came back, he had a 30-point, 10-rebound, and 5-assist game and resulted in a Miami Heat victory. And then, again, 2 nights ago against the Dallas Mavericks, who were without Luka Doncic, Jimmy Butler had 33 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists, an absolute dominant performance. And again, it doesn't even give all the credit in the world, because if we go back and look at specific plays from Jimmy Butler, some of them were just flat out ridiculous, including a game-tying dunk to send this game to overtime. He did get fouled by Derek Lively, who was trailing on the play. He completely got beat on the route to the basket, and because of that, kind of contested late and resulted in what looked like to be a shooting foul on Jimmy Butler in the midst of him dunking the basketball with 2 hands. The foul was not called, and because of that, we ended up going to overtime. We end up winning in overtime, thankfully, to one of Jimmy Butler's craziest shots of his career. I'm not going to say he's Michael Jordan, but he damn well looked like Michael Jordan. I'm going to play the clip here, and you guys can just watch it for yourselves. But here we go. Absolutely just acrobatic. Just phenomenal stuff from Jimmy Butler. And watching that, I immediately thought, I was like, it's gonna turn on. We're gonna get postseason Jimmy early. We're gonna get Jimmy going for a run here, and not just Jimmy, but the entirety of the Miami Heat team. Obviously, Tyler Hero has been one of the biggest factors for this Miami Heat team up to this point, if not the biggest factor for this Miami Heat team up to this point. He's having a career year in multiple categories, both shooting percentages, both from the field and from behind the three-point line, overall points per game, assists, rebounds. It just seems like he's having a transcendent year for not only himself, but really this Miami Heat team, as he's been a leader and one of the focal points for this Miami Heat team, thankfully, as we have desperately needed it, because Jimmy Butler has simply not been the guy. Obviously, Bam struggled early in this season. Things are slowly and surely starting to really find their shape and get things going. But again, if we can get a Jimmy Butler that has looked the way he has in the last two games, the pressure will come off of Tyler Hero just a little bit. Obviously, going into the season, the pressure was really taken off of him, being told, hey, you might play a lot of an off-ball brand of offense here with this Miami Heat team, which doesn't mean you're not going to be able to score the basketball and have the ball in your hands. But again, you're not going to be the guy who is going to have so much pressure on him. We're going to try to really distribute it amongst the team accurately and appropriately, so we can just have a high-flying, ran offense. And really, that's what we're seeing up to this point. Tyler Hero, again, having a career year, had it really struggled in this game for the first time, what felt like all season long. Definitely his worst game, if you will. Again, the stat line was not horrible at the end of the night. In 42 minutes played, Tyler Hero shot 8 of 25 from the field. Not great. Definitely his worst shooting night, including 1 of 10 from behind the three-point line. Absolutely abysmal. No way around it. But then we look at the actual spread. He had 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists with 1 steal. He only had 1 turnover and 1 personal foul, a plus-minus of -1. And again, leading the team in minutes played at 42. Overall, a not-so-bad performance. I know the shooting percentages are absolutely horrible. I understand that. I'm not saying he had a good shooting night. But again, hey, don't go away from it. Hey, look for your shots. Don't force anything, but still look for your shots. And when you can, pass the ball, distribute, rebound, do the little things. Don't turn the ball over. Don't pick up nitty-gritty fouls. Just do what you need to do. And that's exactly what he did. And really, it played very well. He wasn't the only one to struggle shooting that night, as Bam Adebayo also struggled, shooting 8 of 20 from the field. He did make 3 of his 6 threes, which is good to see, as again, he's been inconsistent to start this season from behind the three-point line. Really do love to see Bam stretching the floor that way. Ended with 19 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. Look at these assist numbers. There was only 2 guys in the starting lineup with less than 5 assists. Haywood Highsmith, had 3. Duncan had 1. Obviously, we already acknowledged Jimmy Butler. He did shoot 11 of 17 from the field, including 11 of 16 from the free throw line, and did not attempt a 3. Yes, he had a 30-point game without attempting a 3-point shot. Absolutely love to see this from Jimmy Butler. I think this is going to result in a lot of winning basketball for this Miami Heat team, due to the way and the brand of basketball in which Jimmy Butler and this Miami Heat team is really playing. A few guys I want to acknowledge. The first one is going to be Alec Burks. He played absolutely phenomenal. Played 31 minutes off the bench and produced 15 points on 5 of 9 shooting and 4 of 6 shooting from behind the three-point line. Again, overall, a great game from Alec Burks, coming off the bench, producing 31 minutes in a game that went to overtime, in a battle of a game, without a doubt. He did add 3 assists and 2 rebounds. Overall, a great performance. And then finally, the last guy off the bench I'm going to acknowledge, and really we need to acknowledge, is Pelle Larsson. This kid is not going to get the credit. He's not going to be in the run for the Rookie of the Year, and he damn well should be. He does everything really, really well. It doesn't matter if it comes to scoring the basketball. It doesn't matter if you need him to defend, rebound, get on the floor for a loose ball. He does everything aggressive. He does everything well. He does everything fast, and it's so much fun to watch because he's on the Miami Heat and he's on the team we're rooting for. He fits the mold so appropriately, and really and truly, I can't wait to see him continue playing for this Miami Heat team. I think he's going to be a Heat lifer. I don't think they're ever going to get rid of him due to the brand of basketball in which he plays. And again, He's a rookie. He's just out of Arizona. I think he is going to find himself on a NBA team, specifically this Miami Heat team, for a long, long time, and I'm so glad about it. Here are the Eastern Conference standings going into tonight's game against the Milwaukee Bucks, who are a half game behind this Miami Heat team. So not only for early standings conversations and competition with the Bucks, do the Heat need to win this game, but also it's the first game of this season series against the Milwaukee Bucks. We know we're going to see them a bunch during the regular season as well as in the playoffs, most likely later down the line. I can't wait. I think this is a massive benchmark game for this Miami Heat team, and if they can't come out here and win, it would really disrupt the path we're on, currently winning 2 games in a row, going into this game at home against Milwaukee, leading to 3 very winnable games coming up at Charlotte, and then 2 games against Toronto, 1 at home before going to Toronto. I think we should win these next 4 games really and truly, and it starts tonight against the Milwaukee Bucks. I think we are the team that has really the blueprint to beat them. I think we give them a lot of problems with Giannis, and then obviously Damian Lillard. We do a great job against guards. Obviously Kyrie Irving got off in that fourth quarter. It's really hard to stop that guy, but again, he can do really whatever he chooses on a basketball court. So again, it's going to be interesting. This is a massive part of the schedule for this Miami Heat team after coming off that 6-game road stand, then having a 6-day break. I think this is a massive tell. Hey, we got tested early. We got an early break. Now let's go. Let's run. And we've seen it back-to-back 30-point games from Jimmy Butler. I don't know if we need 30 tonight, but we're going to need a damn good performance overall from Jimmy Butler and the rest of this Miami Heat team to beat the Milwaukee Bucks and make an early statement again on what this season really looks like for this Miami Heat team. Where did my standings graphic go? There it is. Shout out to Real Sports app obviously you can get it on your computer, you can get it on your phone. They have great graphics for everything. And again, here are the Eastern Conference standings. We're currently sitting at 7-7. The New York Knicks won big last night. And then obviously Magic sitting in third place at 12-7, an in-division rival without their best player in Paolo Banchero. We need to be able to win a lot of games while he is no longer active and when he comes back, because things are going to get aggressive and very hectic when he does come back, because this is going to be a hectic race from the 3rd spot all the way down to the 8th spot, we'll call it the 8th spot. 3 to 8 was going to be a shit show in the East. Real no way around it. I hope the Miami Heat are at the top of that 3 through 8 span. I hope they're from 3 to 5. I think that would play best for them. But again, that'll be it for this episode of Heat Digest. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about the recent performances from this Miami Heat team, specifically Jimmy Butler. And I will see you guys on the next episode after a Miami Heat massive win against the Milwaukee Bucks.